Tonight on AfterBuzz SmackDown Live, the final stop before Backlash. We have all the matches set, and a tag team decided to be villains. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This music used to get me all like happy and pumped up.
Aww.
Now I feel like they're gonna just make me angry and want revenge. But we'll talk about that and a whole lot more when you're watching us live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the YouTube AfterBuzz page, iTunes, SoundCloud. You're liking, you're subscribing, you're talking about SmackDown with us. Welcome everybody. I am Christian Rosenberg. The Twitter, Real Rosenberg. Instagram, The Real Rosenberg. The T-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Packed house tonight. First off, the lovely lady over there representing a West Coast Wrestling Connection t-shirt.
Whoop, whoop.
At Chris Reports, it's Christy Olson.
Because, you know, not all of us are special enough to have our own t-shirts.
I'm sure you open a store in 24 hours, you're going to sell more than I have.
I'll keep you posted.
And sporting a WrestleMania 32 hoodie.
Yeah.
At Curtain Jerks, it's Scott Narver.
The one that's dirty when you look at it in the mirror.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's the juicy one that they pulled off the shelves.
Yeah, they did.
Did they
Yeah.
pull it off?
No, they probably didn't. The Sin Cara shirt, though, they pulled off the
That one
shelf.
they did.
That one is a classic.
Did you get one before that
I
happened?
wish I did. If someone knows where to get one, I will pay upwards of $100 for that shirt.
Wow.
Or trade them with this.
Yeah, either way. Dirty shirt for dirty shirt. Yeah, the Sin Cara dong shirt, yeah.
And we have a special guest this week sitting next to me. He is a very funny comedian all around Los Angeles, Detroit, I mean, you travel around, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You go some places.
He gets around.
You do some funny stuff.
That's right.
At Marc Warzecha. I should pronounce your name correctly if I'm going to
I
introduce you,
accept
right?
almost any pronunciation.
At Marc Warzecha. It's Marc Jesus, I can't do it.
No, it's
I got it. I got it.
Do it, Scott. Do it, Scott.
He is also perhaps the man behind Vince Googling.
Perhaps.
He was originally on Curtain Jerks a long time ago.
Yes.
He
indeed.
was. Wrestling compadres.
An original jerk.
Yeah. This is Marc Warzecha.
He pronounced it right.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here, you guys. I'm thrilled to join you. I love the show. It's great to be on.
Thank you for having us, and I apologize that I completely butchered our guest's last name.
No, it happens to me 17 times a day, so don't worry about it. I have a ridiculously complicated last name.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you're obviously, you're a huge wrestling fan,
Yep.
and like Scott mentioned, you created this Twitter.
Yeah.
Of Vince Googling.
Yeah.
How did this come about?
It's at Vince Googling. There were other Googling accounts. There's a Riker Googling, a Star Trek Next Generation kind of comedy account, and there's like, it's like a meme on Twitter. There's maybe like 20 different ones.
Okay, it's like a thing.
It's like a thing. And my wife and I just had our first child, and I was up literally like at 4 a.m. for the millionth night in a row, and I was like, I've got to have something to entertain myself when I'm up with this kid in the middle of the night. So literally at like 4 o'clock in the morning one night, I just went, I'm going to start a wrestling parody Twitter right now, and just started tweeting at Vince Googling, and been having fun with it. I tweet from there every now and then, and it's a blast. It's fun to channel Vince, which Scott is also pretty good at, too.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
I've heard he does a pretty mean Vince McMahon
Yes, he
impression.
does. Yeah,
I
he
don't
does.
care for impressions. That's a low form of comedy. Curtain Jerksville.
In standard definition.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Jimbo.
Yes, and Jimbo, our engineer, is here as always. Hello, sir.
Hi guys.
What's up, bud?
I changed my Twitter.
What you did?
I did.
To what?
It's now at Jimbo12360.
Oh.
Tell you
And why is that? Oh, no. I want you to tell the people.
Oh, because I'm the producer of Xbox 12360 podcast.
Yeah, he
Christy
is.
Olson.
And I'm there too. And we would love it if everybody actually would hit up the Facebook page, facebook.com/xpac12360 show. Give it a like, and we are looking for video questions for Billy Gunn for tomorrow. So please check it out.
The Ass Man.
Yes.
And Jimbo also did that because at the Jimbo SmackDown AfterBuzz Live, or it was probably a little long for a
At
Twitter
Jimbo
name.
Warzecha.
Jimbo Warzecha.
Jimbo Warzeka
Even easier
Googling.
to say.
Go on.
I don't know if he's the ass man in the PG era anymore, Scott. That could be a question.
He
to
ain't
ask
under
him.
contract.
That could be, but I don't know if he can use that nickname anymore in the PG
buttocks
era.
person.
Yes.
I was wondering if we could even say it on AfterBuzz TV.
The Tush
tomorrow.
Man.
The rear end.
Tush Man. I
The
like that.
rear end individual.
That's what my grandma would call him, the Tush Man.
Well, let's get into tonight's SmackDown because we got a lot to talk about because we are in the final stop before SmackDown's first sole pay-per-view, Backlash, and we kick off tonight with the women's title in the ring and Daniel Bryan, the GM. It almost looks like if you're just turning it on without following the story, that Daniel Bryan just won the women's championship and it's a celebration.
And he was going to have to immediately relinquish it due to injury. Oh, this is sad. Again?
And it's all for Total Bellas.
So we get the announcement that the six-pack challenge for this Sunday is now actually also going to be a elimination match.
Good.
Which
As it well
means
should be.
for Daniel Bryan, if we start with 6, if one gets eliminated, then we have 5.
But then what after that?
Well, after we have 5 and another one gets eliminated, we will then have 4.
I don't know what happens next, though.
Oh,
Well,
then
let
they're
me
all
tell
winners,
you.
right? Then they all are the champion?
No,
I like that.
we're not going to have a 4-way tie. Because then someone else is going to get eliminated. Then we're down to 3.
Then there's no champion.
Yeah, right. You would just stop then.
Yeah.
Just end
Oh,
it.
but there's more. Because this is a SmackDown only pay-per-view, so we're going to give the women lots of time.
Yes.
We're going to have another elimination. That brings it to 2.
Can you even have a match with 2 people?
Oh,
I don't think there's ever been one.
it's called a one-on-one match.
What?
How many falls will there be?
There will only be 1 fall at that point,
Oh.
and whoever gets the pinfall or submission at that point will be the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion.
Wow. Well, I don't have an algebra degree, but this sounds interesting.
Yeah, I don't get how it works either. You'd have to draw it out.
Do I have to take
I was going to say, we
calculus
do
to
have a big
understand this
whiteboard
match?
here, gentlemen. Maybe we could take a
We
second.
might need to break it down.
Okay.
Or maybe on Talking Smack, because we haven't exactly gotten to see that yet, because we just came in here right after. But maybe Dan O'Brien gives us a little more detail on how this match works.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he uses fingers.
Maybe.
I do like that they've been doing more elimination matches lately. In the bigger matches, they've been tending to do that a little bit more just the last couple months, and I think it's better. I think the match is usually better when it's an elimination match, and especially when it's for a championship. It feels a little bit more legitimate than just a 1-fall triple threat or 4-person match. I forgot what they call it.
Fatal 4-way.
Fatal 4-way. Yes, it feels a little bit more legitimate for a title that you had to kind of survive for a while to become the champion in a match like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone should get a chance when it's the inaugural title.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a clear-cut winner at the end, and everyone's been defeated, and that one rises up above everyone else. And it means it's far more important that way.
And as always, I'm going to play devil's advocate, because I do that a lot.
Bring it on.
No, I mean, well, in this situation, I do like it. But it's always that thing of, all right, well, whoever's the first one eliminated, well, you're clearly the weakest.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you're going to the back of the line. To me, the elimination matches always end up burying someone.
But that has to be the way. There always has to be there can't be a main event for everything. Someone's got to be at the bottom to work their way back.
No, I understand it. And the reason, though, like when Raw a couple weeks ago had their elimination match for the Universal title, the reason that it worked there, so you had Big Cass be the first one eliminated. Well, he's not a singles wrestler right now. So there, it didn't really hurt him, because then he just goes right off and keeps doing his tag team thing.
And loses to the Shining Stars.
Enzo
yes,
lost. Enzo
yes,
lost.
yes.
But like, so all of a sudden, say we, just for example, let's say Natalya was the first one eliminated.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's a pretty safe assumption.
Okay, so then all of a sudden, oh, well, we're all better than Natalya now. And here comes Natalya. Well, she was the first one eliminated. She got eliminated from the match in like 5-6 minutes.
Yeah.
So why would I take her seriously to be a legit contender at the title?
One way, it's a good point. One way you could help with that, but it wouldn't totally fix what you're saying. But one way that it could be helped is if the match went a really long time before anyone got eliminated.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'd feel like, all right, they were all in there fighting for a while, and now somebody's got to get pinned. They're all exhausted.
Or they do like a triple pin and 3 people get eliminated at the same time.
I was gonna say it's like the Mike Awesome Masato Tanaka Taz match from ECW, where like no one expected Taz to be the first one pinned, and then both guys like piled up on him and they were like, "Oh man, he lost."
Yeah. Now, and if you do a thing where all of a sudden you have like four of the girls jump on top of one other to pin her, okay, that makes sense because this girl's been so dominant that we need everyone to hold her down to get her eliminated. That doesn't bury her in any way.
Well, I mean, we saw an example tonight of someone possibly getting buried within 30 seconds, and then if you tell the story right, it doesn't matter. They come out strong on top anyway.
You talking about the Usos match?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoilers. We're talking about SmackDown. Spoilers.
Comes later.
Well, we could definitely look to that first lady who makes the first pin.
Elizabeth?
Not the first lady of wrestling.
Whoever it may be, I'm gonna take a stab and say probably not Miss Elizabeth.
And it
but
might-
whoever it may be,
might be
is
Betty.
probably your winner.
It might be Betty.
Ooh, I would enjoy that.
Yeah, we'll talk about her a little later too.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for Betty.
So we have a women's championship forum. We're gonna have a 6 women's tag match later on. So out comes Becky Lynch first, and I tell you what, Becky gave a genuine, heartfelt, energetic promo, hyping me up for this Sunday for this match.
Yep.
I was excited. I'm like, this is who Becky Lynch is. I am ecstatic for this. I can't wait to hear all the other rebuttals. And then it just, what happened after Becky did tremendous. And then to me, it's like, out comes Natalya. She makes a puking sound. She said the worst day of her life was getting drafted on the same show as Becky.
Oh.
But these were things we haven't heard from her before. You guys have been saying she's not doing this heel thing quite right.
Was that
this
heel?
Was pretty good tonight.
That was heel?
It was more heelish than we've seen her previously.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it though?
Do you like puking sounds? And you're
No.
like, oh, I hope you win.
No.
So you hated it.
I hate using that word, but I strongly dislike Natalya's promo tonight.
Well, there you go. It sounds like she's got some heel heat.
Remember, remember Beyond the Mat when Vince coached draws on how to puke? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You think he did that backstage tonight with Natalya?
No. She just watched that episode of Total Divas where Brie threw up on Nikki's boobs
Oh.
on the Europe tour after
How'd I
drinking
miss
too
that?
much. You're losing out.
But then
Fearless.
this is when it really
Right.
got confused though. So Natalya came out to do the rebuttal, and then all of a sudden Alexa is standing on the apron. Like
Yep.
there was no camera of her walking to the ring. Her music did not play.
Snuck in.
She was just there. And then Carmella was just there.
Yeah.
And then they all get ready to gang up on Becky. Naomi runs in. Nikki runs in. We have a standoff. Nikki gets clocked by Natalya, I think it was. And then Becky and Naomi throw the 3 girls out of the ring while Nikki's down. That was just like it wasn't like a big brawl, just having a split second. Nikki got hit, but it was really like, okay, Becky looks like the one who cares about it the most. Natalya was whining, and then the other 4 were just kind of there.
It was still better than what they did with the women on the SmackDown premiere, on the SmackDown Live premiere.
True.
That is a very good point. That is very true.
Yeah, it was nice to see the women's. It wasn't a super effective segment aside from Becky, but it was nice to see the women's division get featured in this way. Although I will say, I think that one way that SmackDown could distinguish itself some more from Raw is to open with a match on SmackDown and maybe keep the talking segments a little later in the show. Because we know Raw traditionally always opens with that talking segment. And maybe that's another way that SmackDown could be different than Raw is open with a match.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to make it the wrestling show
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Well, you know what is different than other things?
What? What is different than other things?
If you let me build it up, I can. Something that's different, something that's great, something that's amazing is DraftKings.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
different
That
than
is
other
different than other
things.
things.
That is
You're right.
different than what we're talking about right now because DraftKings daily fantasy football season is here. It starts in less than 48 hours.
Whoa.
I'm excited. And you can win your share of $100,000 in DraftKings free Week 1 contest.
Just me?
You can win your share, but other people can too.
Other people can,
That's
so
right.
it's not just for me. This is
No,
open
but you
to
can win your
everyone.
share of $100,000, and it's a free contest.
What?
No charge. Free contest this weekend with $100,000 in total prizes up for grabs. If you don't know DraftKings, it is the destination for one-week fantasy football. There are no season-long commitments. You can play every week if you want. You could play 1 week here, 1 week there. You can challenge your friends, have rivalries. They also have 50-50 contests where literally the top half of everyone playing that wins. They win cash. So literally you have a 50% chance to win cash in some of these daily leagues. It's awesome. If you go to DraftKings.com right now, use the promo code BUZZ to play for free in this weekend's $100,000 fantasy contest. The contest is 100% free. I will be playing in it because I love DraftKings and I hope to win. Well, I don't hope. I plan on winning. And, so make sure you go to DraftKings.com, promo code BUZZ, to play for free in the Week 1 $100,000 fantasy contest. Eligibility restrictions may apply. See website for details. I am so stoked for football.
Yeah.
How stoked are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I am a 10,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
We were just talking about it before the show because it's kind of. I can't believe summer's over and here we go into football season.
Yep.
And we've got a team here in LA and it is pretty exciting.
We do have a team now in LA.
Yep.
And they have some good fantasy players on.
Yes, I am so ready to tolerate football.
Wow.
That's the point I've gotten to. Hey,
Well, Dean Ambrose
I'm good.
tolerates coffee by putting like an entire jar of sugar in it.
nice.
That was that whole following segment.
That's the champ, everybody.
The champ got a random crew guy, tried his coffee, didn't like it, and put a lot of sugar in it and walked away.
Can we just talk about that catering setup for a second?
Please, by all means.
These are my questions. Is that the actual WWE catering at the arena? Because if it is, it looks like bingo at, like an old folks, like my grandma's bingo at the community center. There were like croissants and little coffees. And if it's not, and if it was just a set for the show, why does it look like that?
It was the craft services at a student film set.
Yeah.
Why is there no protein for these guys? These are big, muscly people that need their protein.
Donuts and coffee. That's
Donuts
it.
and coffee.
That's it.
They need healthy things out there. They're professional wrestlers. They can't eat donuts and croissants.
Isn't that what you see backstage at every other wrestling show?
You'll get some Little Caesars pizzas.
Oh, I suppose.
Maybe
We have donuts in Portland.
Maybe you'll get treated to party subs from Subway. Those are the high end ones. Yeah. I've got an experience on them. Like Subway for free. Granted, I might not get paid, but I got free Subway.
That could be another product placement for WWE. They could always show the catering table, and like Subway could pay to have their subs on the table as part of the show.
They already do the Sonic stuff. Why not do that?
Yeah,
Just put Sonic
there
on
those
the
5-packs or whatever they're
catering.
pushing for a while? Just line them up on the table.
That table should be filled with tater tots.
Yes.
Maybe Donut Co. did pay to
Maybe
for product placement on their
Maybe.
show.
Either way, that guy from the crew is going to HR about Dean Ambrose for messing with his coffee.
By the way, we saw a lot of crew guys tonight.
Yeah.
There were a lot of crew guys tonight.
Dean's just, a man of the people.
Clearly.
And none of them were treated well.
No.
Wasn't great advertising.
HR is busy tonight.
Yeah.
So Dan O'Brien and Shane are backstage talking about what transpired with the women. They're interrupted by Miz, and he's complaining that he has to defend the title this Sunday against Dolph Ziggler. And Dan O'Brien's just like, well, if you don't want to defend it against him, then you could just give me the title right now.
Wow.
That's what I'd do. I just hand it over.
Oh, you're so easy.
You give up your reign as champion?
Yeah.
Why?
I wasn't defeated. It was a fluke. Then I'd go to HR and say that I was forced into giving this title up, and then I get it right back.
But
That is
HR is
sassy.
going to be way backed up with all these other crew member complaints. So
I am a
you're going to be
former champion. What are those crew members? What'd they ever do?
it's you wait in line. You wait in line.
They didn't even speak on camera to get a SAG card. Like, they're fools.
Miz's music hits. He's out to the ring for action. He goes one-on-one with Apollo Crews. Dolph Ziggler is on commentary. Good match. I thought this was a better match than what they had at SummerSlam.
I thought that too. I wrote that down actually. I like this better than their SummerSlam match, and I thought Apollo Crews didn't look that great in the SummerSlam match, and he looked really great in this match.
Yeah.
This match was designed better to showcase him. Even though he still didn't win, he looked better in the match.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I thought so. Christy, you look a little like you're disagreeing.
No, I have such high hopes for him, for Apollo Crews, and I'm wondering, so yes, of course, this was a great match tonight, but then The Miz is going to go up and defend the title on Sunday against Dolph Ziggler. So where does that leave Apollo Crews?
It leaves there, losing and smiling.
Always smiling.
Like we said, good match between the two. Miz and Ziggler argue towards the end. Crews tried to do a baseball slide at Miz. Miz got out of the way. Crews almost hit Ziggler. He stopped himself. Miz then pushes Crews into Ziggler. Ziggler's down, throws Crews into the ring post. Back into the ring, skull crushing finale. Miz gets the win. Then Ziggler still has the title. He's standing in the ring with it, telling Miz to come in and get it. And Miz has his lovely wife, Maurice, go into the ring and retrieve the title.
That's awfully nice of her.
It's a great wife.
Would your wife ever retrieve a title belt
No,
for you if
God,
you just
no.
left it somewhere?
Never.
No?
Christy, what about your husband?
Yeah, would he do that?
If I was wearing that outfit in front of that many people and had the opportunity to have all eyes on me while stepping into the ring, and I had that body, mind you, yes, heck yes, I would get in there and grab that belt for him.
No, I was asking.
Your husband grabbed for you.
I was asking
Oh,
what
would
your
he do
husband.
it for me?
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Most certainly he would. He would. Again, probably not in that particular outfit, however.
Why not?
I mean, not to say that he wouldn't look great in it. I'm just not sure I could convince him.
So he'd be wearing the Mrs. outfit and you'd be wearing Maurice's?
Yes! Any scenario where I get to wear that outfit is A-okay with me.
I think it's safe to say
But
it's
again,
A-okay with everyone watching.
It has to come with what's underneath it. That it's okay.
Like her organs?
Right.
I
I need the whole body. I need the entire
skin?
thing necked out. Oh, yes. I will take it all. For Maurice, hello.
Okay.
I want the dogs, too.
Well, I don't know how that would work physically.
Science.
Yeah,
It's beyond you.
it's way beyond me. I'm not much of a science guy, but I am a guy who likes to make fun of dirt sheets. You like that
True.
segue? Did you like that?
like it.
It's different from other things.
It is. Now, Mark, you're new here, so we have this weekly segment here.
Right.
Chrissy loves dirt sheets.
Yeah.
Love.
The
Dirt sheets would go get the belt in the ring for me. Just FYI.
Is that what they reported? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Chrissy reads a story that she found interesting each week. Mm-hmm. Scott and I, we talk about whether or not we think it's true or not. You can join in this week. So get ready, folks. It's time for Believe That. No music. All right, there it is.
See, that's
It
how
was
they-
a delayed explosion. It was a
surprising.
timed mine.
surprising.
Oh, man. I felt we were safe for once.
No, never safe.
Oh, jeez.
I actually did that just to freak you guys out.
Well done. All right, what we got this week?
Well, I also think you're going to freak out about this because I think you're going to be really excited to hear this one.
That was a better segue than mine.
Well, that's what I do. So, we all know that the Cruiserweights are coming to Raw in a couple of weeks. Gentlemen, do you believe that SmackDown will also be getting a Cruiserweight division? Reportedly, sort of depending on how it goes on Raw, and we know Vince McMahon isn't super excited about these guys, but if it goes well, there will definitely be a Cruiserweight division coming to our Tuesday night SmackDown Lives. Gentlemen, I ask you, do you believe that?
Is SmackDown getting a third hour?
No.
Then they're not.
Oh, that was quick.
I mean, SmackDown's Raw. I mean, they could use more wrestlers on it. It is a thinner roster than Raw because it's a shorter show. So we can definitely have some of those cruiserweights on SmackDown. But the thought of dividing, because they're not signing all 32 guys that were in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Of course.
They're at most maybe signing a third of them. So are you going to divide them up and then have the Cruiserweight division as thin as really the women's division is for both shows now? I wouldn't want that. No. So I'm going to say no.
Wah, wah.
Mark and Scott are
you go ahead,
pondering
Scott.
right now.
Okay.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I'm wondering if Hornswoggle will be reinstated so he can defend his Cruiserweight title.
Against Torito?
Well, he was the last champion of the Cruiserweight division.
Right, but I'm saying him and Torito still have unfinished business.
Let's start that rumor.
I don't think
sure do.
Torito's number one contender just by them having unfinished business. You got Kid Cash,
Sure.
you got Chavo Guerrero,
Yeah.
you got Shane Helms, you got a bunch
Chavo
of
Classic.
Chavo Classic.
Yeah.
Who's that, Jimbo?
Little Guido.
Little Guido.
Nunzio.
Yes.
Taka Michinoku.
Yeah, that's right. So it's tough to believe. It's tough to believe Vince McMahon liking little guys to hire more on 2 shows. I think that's what I'm having trouble wrapping my head around. But if this Cruiserweight Classic did as much good business for them and bringing these eyes on these guys, I could see them trying to capitalize on it and probably having other people in NXT that they would qualify as Cruiserweight. So I do believe it. Just barely, but I believe it.
I'll take it.
Tiebreaker, Mark?
I believe it. I believe it only because they hired so many guys for the Cruiserweight Classic, and there's only 6 women right now in the entire women's division on SmackDown.
That's true.
And there's a lot of guys that they probably saw and liked and could choose from. So I reluctantly say I believe it.
All right. Yes, you can come back next week, Mark.
Yay!
'Cause we all know I make those decisions.
Can I come back next week too?
It's undecided.
We'll see how the rest of the show goes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let me see how I do.
Andrew Beeler in the
Thank
chat
you for
says,
playing, gentlemen.
Andrew Beeler in the chat says, Kendrick on SmackDown, please. Which Kendrick hasn't been signed by Raw yet, right? And we have the whole story with him and Daniel Bryan going on and all that. So
It would make sense.
That's a
And he
good
doesn't have to
point.
be,
Makes sense.
Good
again,
thought,
doesn't
Rob.
have to be a cruiserweight, but he can certainly just be there and wrestle with whoever.
Yeah.
Nah, I'd be all for that. Renee Young's backstage with AJ Styles.
Oh yeah.
After they show footage of him being stuck on a rope. And if you haven't seen footage, like fan footage is up because there was a dark match that happened after SmackDown where they had just a live crowd of Rollins and Bray versus Cena and Reigns. And AJ is still on the rope after when they're all making their entrances. It is hilarious.
Crotched on there.
And last week I talked about how dumb I thought it was because of how jokey it was.
Yes.
Then I saw the fact that he committed and stayed on it for like another 6-7 minutes after SmackDown went off the air.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm okay. All right, you won me over.
Oh, I thought you were going to hate that.
No. At that point, I was like, okay, that's just hilarious. That he committed for that long.
It's like a Family Guy bit that goes on for like 15 minutes.
Right.
And you go, all right, I like this now.
Yeah, like at first it was like, why are they doing it? Okay. All right, that's pretty funny. That's exactly how I responded to it. So AJ is very angry that they showed the footage, and he's blaming this one crew guy that is just standing in the corner, who apparently is the one solely in charge of them playing that video. And this guy looked a lot like the guy who played Big E last night on Raw. I don't have that for a fact, but it was like, okay, he was kind of like the overweight, just kind of shy guy there. And it's just like, he got in trouble by AJ.
Yeah, that was the most inadvertently hilarious segment of the show, I think. That AJ was like, AJ was like, "Are you the guy that gave her the footage?" Like,
Yes.
it's like it's like 1984, and someone has to like run over a tape, like a 3/4 inch tape, and be like, "Put this on."
Breaking news!
And then that he would just be standing there next to the table. The guy who gives her the footage just hangs out right there and waits to be scolded, I guess.
Yeah, it was interesting. Usos backstage, quick little interview, letting everyone know that they still run the tag team division. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then it goes right from that promo to a Bray Wyatt promo, talking about survival of the fittest. Mankind eventually learned to adapt. You're no longer the great predator you once were. I'm the evolution of man. I feel like he called himself like the new predator. Just like how he called himself the new face of fear when he feuded with Undertaker. He's just taking everyone's nicknames.
yeah, he's just the new everything.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I don't know this for certain, but that's like a thing in modeling, right? People are always just the new thing, and then you pay attention to that.
Why don't you know that, Scott? You're an expert in modeling.
I dabble.
I've got a couple Scott Narver centerfolds, just saying.
Whoa.
Yeah. Those were dark days.
Yeah, send those to me.
Oh, I will do.
Was that in the?
They're a little dirty.
Was that the same?
Definitely send them to me.
Was that the same Shawn Michaels Playgirl magazine? Was he also featured in that one?
Mm-hmm. But those staples actually cover up a lot for me.
Ouch.
Got it. 6 women tag match: Nikki, Naomi, and Becky versus Alexa, Carmella, and Natalya. Main highlights of this match: Naomi spanked Carmella. Not quite sure why.
Yes.
But I'm not against it.
I think it was like a, what what is this thing? What is this, like, tiny white girl butt? Like, I think she was, like, testing it. Like, it was like that doesn't look like mine. I mean, no offense to Carmella. She has a fantastic body, but I'm in the same boat as she is.
What is this tiny white girl butt? Is what Naomi was saying to Carmella.
That used to be the other thing people would say on Press Your Luck when they
No whammy.
What is this white girl butt?
She was definitely delighted after she did it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
She's
cracked
no
up
longer
laughing.
confused.
Yeah.
All right. They gave this match a lot of time, which was good. And it really helped build up. I mean, this match, really, when you break it down, AJ and Ambrose supposed to be number 1. Bray and Orton's kind of number 2. This is number 3. Definitely higher than the tag match. So they're doing well with it. Chaos broke out towards the end. Carmella locks the code of silence on Nikki and makes Nikki tap out.
Surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Carmella win. I like Carmella, so I love her character. I love her persona. I think she's got great attitude. She's improving in the ring, which is good. But every time I see her, I miss her being with Enzo and Cass. I'm always like, I want the 3 of them to be together. And when Enzo comes out on Raw and does the spiel, during the entrance, in the part where he's supposed to say, and this is Carmella, and she's hot as hell, I say it out loud at home always as a tribute to her. Just so you guys know.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Just so you guys know, I fill it in. I pause the live television and I fill it in.
And then your wife looks at you and be like, who's Carmella?
The baby is sleeping. Shut up.
Baby Carmella?
Well, I don't want you to feel too bad for her, Mark. So I'll tell you guys, she did an interview this week talking about being split from them and finally getting her chance. And she said she's very happy to get out there on her own and make a name for herself.
Ah, very good. Okay,
Yeah.
great. This makes it better.
Right?
Okay, great.
By the way, Scott, it seems like people in the chat roll want to know where they can pick up a copy of your centerfold.
Yeah, we got them all hot and bothered.
You can buy it from George Hermosa on eBay. He's selling old magazines. I'm bound to show up in there.
He probably has that magazine.
I'm sure he does.
He probably does.
And he didn't read through it until he did an after show and then started reading through it there.
Are you wearing just nothing but a wrestling t-shirt?
Yeah, I'm wearing the old Hulk Hogan teddy bear in front of me.
Yep.
And then a Jake the Snake shirt.
And a Hulkamania bandana?
Yeah, Hulkamania bandana.
And it's titled The Wrestling Buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep. Now this image is in my head for all eternity.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Usos versus American Alpha.
Ooh.
When they announced this match was going to be in the semifinals for the tag title tournament,
We
I was
knew
just like,
something was up.
well, I was just like, why is this not the finals? This is
Suspicious.
definitely going to be
Yes.
the best match of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, there's still lots of time on the show. I'm really pumped for this match. Here we go. It lasted less than 40 seconds. Grand Amplitude by American Alpha. Usos jumped them at the beginning. And then they brawled for a few seconds. I feel like the ref shouldn't even call for the bell at first because all 4 of them were brawling in the ring. But he did. One of the Usos got thrown out of the ring, Grand Amplitude on the other. American Alpha won, and everyone's just like, what just happened? Like we wanted them to win, but we didn't expect them to win in 30 seconds.
And Usos had jumped them from behind to start. That was also a shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shook hands and they were ready to have a competitive match, and then they fought dirty right away.
They were frustrated.
And so after the match, Usos are kind of like shaking their heads, looking at each other, and like, oh, well, they got us this time. Reach out their hands out of respect to shake the hands of the victors. But they weren't so pleased with it. Super kick on Jason Jordan. And then they beat the crap out of Chad Gable. Destroyed his knee. And Chad Gable was helped to the back after this malicious attack by the Usos.
Uso crazy. You know what I mean?
Too much 5-hour energy for those guys. Way too much.
You can overdose on 5-hour energy.
They did.
And this is the result.
They play hard in the paint.
I thought this was a really good heel turn. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And they need to turn heel. They need something new. They need something fresh. They've needed it for a while. And when they first came in, they were heels. You guys remember that?
Yeah, with Tamina.
Yeah, they were like at the very, very beginning, but now they've been baby faces for so long, nobody even remembers that. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed something new and fresh, and it seems like there are so many good guys on SmackDown now that they needed some extra bad guys on there.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that there was a little precursor to it at the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
It didn't just come out of nowhere like a scripted thing, like, oh, and now they're bad guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we got at least a little build up.
I wonder if they're still going to wear the face paint as heels. I guess you could. It just makes me so happy when I see it. I don't want to boo them with the face paint
Will
on.
they do the war dance?
Right.
Ooh. Will they still wear mismatched socks? Who knows?
Will they
seems
wear
so
things
wacky.
that will let us identify who is who?
Well, one of
still
them's
don't
got
know
a
what they
bigger
are.
beard now, so that makes it easier.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, then
Jay
write
Wyatt.
a shirt. Like, write your name on the shirt that says, Jay with the beard. Or what? I'm the one with the beard. Hi. Randy Orton tells a story about a man and a snake who both wanted a rabbit that he killed.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
And snakes will always be more scared of you than you are of them. This was weird.
Super weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
All right.
Agreed.
All right,
It was
that's
bizarre.
that.
It was weird. I mean,
And then from there, we go to Fandango. We'll just leave it at that, I guess.
well, we need to get to Fandango. This is way more important.
And not only are we getting to Fandango, but we're getting to the debut of Betty.
Right.
Fandango in the ring because Tyler Breeze is in Dubai looking for new silk for their fashion show.
For their new fashion line.
Fashion line, excuse me.
Yes, which I'm
Fashion
very
line.
excited about.
I am
I
too.
can't wait to look at that on WWEshop.com.
It's going to be, just letting you know, their fashion line is going to be about 20 times more expensive than everything else on the site.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they'll have a discount code for
Couture.
25%, so it's all fine.
Yeah. Fandango wants to dance, and he wants to tango with somebody.
Yeah.
Brings up this girl from the crowd named Betty.
Lady.
Excuse me.
She's a
Woman.
refined lady.
Woman.
Don't say woman. That makes him feel old.
And lady doesn't? I would think lady would make you feel older than woman.
Elegant. Makes you feel elegant, right? Lady over woman?
Yeah, I think I'd take lady.
You take lady
Yeah.
over woman?
Yeah.
You never say ma'am.
I was
never.
just gonna
No,
say
no.
ma'am.
Oh, don't do that, Jimbo.
What about damsel?
Oh, Betty was her name, right? Betty was no damsel. No.
So she's got a bunch of tattoos. Fandango asks her about them, and she's like, because she likes nature. And Fandango's like, great, let's talk dance. Now, let's see if you can hang with me. And they play the music, and she starts kind of getting into it. And then eventually, she starts cutting the rug, doing a little dancing.
Yeah.
And Fandango, not a fan. Was not a fan of her dancing.
He's very judgmental.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a world-class dancer. He expects a certain standard.
Yeah, I think the rhythm just got Betty, but it didn't get Fandango.
And Fandango said her hips were full of lies. I'm glad that one Shakira song from 15 years ago is still relevant to make these zingers.
Oh, yeah.
That is from 15 years ago. Wow.
It's something like that. Maybe
Yeah.
20, I don't know. And Betty then let him know that her hips are the truth and you can't handle the truth.
Wow.
A line from 25 years
Yeah, I was
ago.
gonna say, even older.
And she then dances her way out of the ring.
Oh.
First off, how'd she get in the ring? Like, did he pull her? Because we never saw her pull.
No,
Never saw
I think she was standing there when they came back from the commercial break.
Right, so
She's
we never
already
saw
there.
him take her from, like, the
Are you
crowd.
wondering because you want to be chosen next time?
Yes.
How do I get in on this?
And I am such a better dancer than Betty.
Start getting some tattoos first
Okay.
off.
Of nature?
Trees.
Okay. Yeah. What? So then Fandango started like, all right, so who wants to dance with him now? Do you? Oh, here comes Kane.
He wanted someone with fire.
And
That's
Kane
what he
provided the
wanted.
fire.
He asked for it.
Kane wanted to lead. That was very clear.
Yeah. And Fandango wanted to dance with him. He
Yeah.
was open to it. But then Kane chokeslammed him.
That is a dip. You clearly don't know your dance. That is a classic dip. For when you're over 7 feet tall, that is a dip.
Yep, I gave it a 10.
All right.
I will admit I had to very briefly step out at this point as we were watching the show.
Oh.
To make a quick phone call. I didn't want to do it in here and disturb everybody. So so Betty got into the ring.
Yep.
And I had to step out right then. And when I returned, Betty was gone and Kane was in the ring.
Yep.
And
They're the same
I can
person.
only assume that Betty had transformed into Kane.
Just like a Scooby-Doo moment, ripping off a mask and being taller.
Yes.
Well,
I'm shocked to hear that was not the case.
but Kane did dance.
He did the Fandango dance after. He did.
He was quite good at it.
And I was kind of waiting for them Baron Corbin to come out like they did last week.
To dance?
Well, like, do the little stare as Kane left. Baron Corbin comes
right.
out.
They teased that.
They teased that last week.
Right.
No sign of it tonight.
No sign of Baron Corbin, period, tonight.
No.
Well, he was enjoying those croissants backstage. So how could he?
He's too busy not giving a F.
All right. AJ Styles backstage again. More crew guys.
Man.
Lots of crew guys.
These poor guys.
He's backstage. Past two guys, they're looking at one of their phones, and he thought they were taking a photo of him. It's like, don't you know I'm the face that runs the place? You can't take photos of me. No, I'm just showing him a photo of my family. Here we are at my son's graduation. He's valedictorian. We're very proud of him. He's going to Yale.
Yeah, the segment went on for 8 minutes.
Yep.
Of the guy slowly
He kept describing. And then this is my youngest son, Tyler, and he's 7. And AJ complimented him on his lovely family.
Sure.
And threw the phone against a wall.
That guy was
terrible.
He was due for an upgrade. It's fine.
Yeah, that was like an iPhone 4.
Yeah.
He was like a couple generations behind. AJ was doing him a favor.
Yeah, that battery had no life to it.
No.
And mind you, there was an old security guard sitting in the back, not even looking, didn't get up to do his job.
No, a crime was taking place.
A potential assault.
Yep.
What was he doing?
It was fine.
What was he
AJ
doing?
took care of it. AJ took care of the potential assault of getting a photo taken of him. That security guard knows AJ is the face that runs the place. So he's fine. He's sitting there with his croissant and he's okay.
That brings up a question as to why there's security guards there at all. When there are all these big burly men there who could probably protect themselves, let's be real.
Sure.
To protect them from the production guys.
Well, in this
Because eventually, based on what we saw tonight, they're all going to gang up on somebody. Like, we're going to have a brand new stable called The Crew.
They're going to invade SmackDown.
They're going to invade SmackDown. It's like, here's our crew. I'm Chet. This is Rick.
Ooh,
That's Frank.
They get to speak? That's expensive.
No, just one. Just one gets to speak.
They'll immediately get destroyed by the wrestlers. It'll be the shortest invasion ever.
Well, wait, we should know you were security on SmackDown
You were?
many years ago.
Oh,
I was.
Pray tell.
On one episode of I was backstage at SmackDown a few years back, and they needed a couple extra people to play security guards on the show, and I got.
You mean they're not real?
I hate to break it to you guys, but wrestling is fake. But
You're just bitter because you got fired.
I did. No, but I was only there for the one. What? But I got pulled to be one of the. You know when the security guards will come out and Stephanie will go, "I've got security here to escort you out of the building." But it was that sort of deal. So me and 3 other guys did it. But I got to be in a couple cool scenes, and one with down at the ring with Brock Lesnar.
Oh, wow.
And luckily he didn't kill me. But
Is it on the
Live
network?
to tell the tale.
it's an old SmackDown episode.
It's probably
It might be
on the network.
It's on the network now,
It should
right?
be.
It might be. Yes, it must be.
can't
And I
believe you
haven't
haven't
even looked.
looked.
I haven't even thought of that. But when they picked me to do it, because I knew it was going to be something with Brock, because I heard them talking about it. They were picking some of the indie wrestlers to be the other security guards. So they
Right.
were like, "Will you do it? Will you do it?" And the guys were like, "Yeah." And then they came to me and they were like, "Will you do it?" And I was like, "I don't know how to take bumps." That was literally the first thing I said. It was like, "I'm not a trained wrestler. If Brock's going to throw me around, I'm not the guy for this." But I did not have to take a bump in my segment, luckily.
Is that Detroit?
That was done in Florida.
Oh, Florida, okay.
Yep.
So people can find it and tweet out about it.
I'm going to look for it. I've never thought to look on the network. Okay, I'm going to check it out.
Gotta be there.
I was in the background of One Thing One Time. I watch it every single night.
How
Hall
are
of Fame
they in
2016 people,
Florida
red carpet.
struggling to find security guards that they needed to pick?
This was
The
before
random
NXT.
guy.
Yeah.
Well, whenever they have the quote-unquote security guards on the show, it's local indie wrestlers. It's always local
Right.
indie wrestlers that they throw.
Right, and there are a
they
billion
throw
of them in
security.
Yeah, I
Florida.
know that.
There are a
exactly.
billion in
There's a
Florida.
billion in Florida.
Yeah.
CW's there. How are they struggling to find people to where they're like, oh,
They
you don't know how to take a bump? You'll be fine. Come on.
I don't know. It's a really good question. They may have just wanted to hurt me.
Maybe. Kurt Hawkins debuts next week. That was the next thing.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
The most interesting man in the world. I mean, those are the facts.
The most
right?
interesting, the most interesting man in the SmackDown world.
Yeah, he's the Dos Equis guy. Is basically his gimmick.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're going up against Baron Corbin, it's not really that hard.
Do you think he's going to start saying these facts on his own now? He's no longer going to have to rely on the graphics people?
Well, at least for the next few weeks. I mean, Eva Marie's voice guy needs work since she's still gone, so he could do it.
True.
But when she comes back, I don't know if he can, handle both.
Yeah, he's going to have to do
workloads.
voices at that point.
We'll
It'd be
see.
hilarious if they have like a little sidekick that just holds like giant cue cards that like Kurt Hawkins, can we get an interview? And he just like stares at them, and then that person walks up and holds the card.
And that person's
That says
name is
whatever.
Shannon Moore.
Oh. Or Jamie Noble or
Joy Mercury.
yeah.
All right.
I miss those guys.
Hype Bros versus Heath Slater and Rhino. Heath's kids are at ringside. Some are in suits. Some are in overalls. Some look nothing like the other.
That's mom and dad. You can't just assume they're all going to look like one parent.
Any chance those were 7 indie wrestlers that they pulled from backstage?
Those are the cruiserweights they're going to hire for SmackDown.
Might be.
They were all crew guys.
Yeah, they're having a Heath Cruiserweight Classic. Just the entire Slater family.
I like
And
all
he
this.
still won't get signed.
I like all the Slater stuff a lot. I think it's been fun, but I'm like, they know he's not Hillbilly Jim, right? Like they're like, he lives in his trailer and his kids wear overalls. It's like he's a fairly like
cheese
hip-looking
whiz.
guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's not like
Well, we got to keep going because we got to finish up this and we got to get our predictions in really quick for Backlash.
Okay.
But fun back and forth match. Gore on Zack Ryder and Heath and Rhino advance to the finals. And we found out apparently on Talking Smack, due to the injury by Chad Gable, that American Alpha is out of the finals at Backlash. And what they're going to do, Heath Slater did not win by forfeit. What they're going to do is now Hype Bros will wrestle the Usos
garbage.
on Sunday.
This is fixed.
And the winner of that will then face Heath Slater and Rhino
Garbage.
Later that
fixed.
evening.
later that evening. So those two teams one of those teams is going to wrestle 2 matches.
This is conspiratorial.
Ooh, Scott doesn't like it.
No, Jesse Ventura would have a field day with this.
He would. Renee Young's backstage or interrupted by the Usos, and they're sick of busting their ass to get respect. We're done with that. Sound the mics. Like, we're sick of doing these things for 6 years. We just showed you something. And they did, which we talked about a little earlier.
good promo.
Yeah, it was good, short, sweet, to the point. Now we boo them. Main event is a promo. Ambrose and AJ. Charlie stood in the ring for a second. Ambrose then had her leave, which was not very champion-esque.
No, but she played it off well, man. I am really liking her.
No, she's good. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Ambrose had a present for AJ. It was a participation bowling trophy. And letting AJ know that this is the only trophy that he'll ever get from Dean Ambrose. Oh, snap. That was a diss right there.
Sure.
It was.
It wasn't it? Soccer mom chants break out.
Yeah.
AJ Styles reminds Ambrose that he beat John Cena and you ain't John Cena. And Dean Ambrose then had a great line in response, pretty much talking about, we don't give trophies around here to the face that comes in second place.
Yeah. We all went, oh.
Yeah, that was another whole snap moment right
that was
there.
an odd step.
And then AJ gives him a low blow and breaks the trophy. And SmackDown just immediately goes off the air. Like, you
We
would
all
have
went,
thought,
what?
yeah, it was like, that's it?
And that's probably the only trophy that Dean Ambrose has ever gotten. So sad.
But he has the WWE World Championship.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not 3 feet tall.
And he may not have that after this Sunday at Backlash.
And you with the segues are getting right into our predictions.
Boom.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So at the moment, we have 6 matches set for Backlash this Sunday. They'll probably throw another one in there for a kickoff or something like that. The main predictions title, I think that's just going to be now for all the split brand shows. So this is just for us, just for bragging rights, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I like to brag.
yeah.
Is bragging rights its own pay-per-view? Or
I see what you did there, Jimbo. So let's break down the matches. First off, Intercontinental Championship, Miz defending against Dolph Ziggler. Will Miz's never-ending reign continue? Or will Dolph Ziggler win an important match?
This will be great. Miz will retain, and then Dolph will then get bumped down to the Cruiserweight division that'll get instated on SmackDown. So he'll just go through all the titles within all the months here.
That could actually happen.
So you're predicting Miz,
yeah.
Christy?
Miz.
Mark?
Yeah, Miz.
I will also say Miz, and I think, Ziggler and Baron Corbin still have unfinished business, so this will allow Ziggler to continue this never-ending feud with Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Great.
Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. I'm going Bray, thanks to the return of Luke Harper.
Ooh, I like that.
Wait, and then Randy Orton's going to be so far buried in the ground that he will never, ever, ever be resurrected ever again.
Well, then Randy Orton will feud with Miz, and then after that, he'll go down to Baron Corbin, who will still be feuding with Dolph Ziggler at that point.
No way. Randy Orton's got to take this one to look strong.
Yeah, Randy Orton's friend Luke Harper will show up and help him with the win.
I think Randy's got to win just because he got beat up so bad at SummerSlam.
Can't wait to prove you all wrong.
I like your idea.
Yeah, we wait for it too. We don't win these.
I'm never good at these, am I? Usos versus the Hype Bros. So now the winner of this is going to face Heath Slater and Rhino. Who we got?
Usos.
Yeah, I'd say Usos.
Double disqualification. No winner.
No,
Christy?
Usos.
All right. Which then would then lead to Heath Slater and Rhino versus the winner of that match. So in your case, Scott, you're saying Heath Slater and Rhino win because they don't have an opponent.
That's right.
I say they do have an opponent, but I still say Heath Slater and Rhino will win the tag team titles.
No way. We get our first heel Usos as champions.
I agree with Christy. Yep.
All right. From there, we got the six-pack challenge for the women's title. Alexa, Natalya, Carmella, Nikki, Becky, and Naomi. This one, I think, is the biggest toss-up of the show. And not just because there's 6 people in it.
Naomi.
Scott goes Naomi. Christy.
I think it's going to be Carmella.
Mark.
I think it's going to be Becky, and I hope it's Becky.
I was all about saying a heel needed to be the first one to win this championship, and I was all set to pick Carmella.
Yes, they're trying to take us off.
But then Carmella won tonight.
Right.
And made Nikki tap. Mm-hmm. Therefore, Nikki is winning. And then we'll feud with Carmella.
Ooh.
All right. I still think they're going to give it to Carmella, but I like that better.
I figured you did. And finally, main event, Dean Ambrose defending the WWE World Championship against AJ Styles. We got a new champ. AJ wins.
Styles. Yeah, agreed.
I think so, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Are we convincing you to do it then?
Yeah,
All
AJ.
right.
All
There
the
are
way.
picks.
Unanimous.
You should tell us your picks by commenting on the YouTube page and, of course, channel us on various forms of social media. Christy Olson, how can people reach out to you?
I would love it if they would follow me at Christy Reports, sorry.
Where?
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, got it all. Please also download the Fight TV app, check out Paragon Pro Wrestling and West Coast Wrestling Connection, and watch X-Pac 12360, our premiere episode from last week with Scott Hall. You guys are really responding well to the show. It's so much fun, so please just keep tweeting it out and watching and listening. We're going to have Billy Gunn this week. Yay!
Scott Narver.
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud, and Fox Sports presents Wrestling Compadre Slamcast. Last week was above and beyond crazy. We had Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Jeff Jarrett, and TJ Perkins, all his interviews, and they're fantastic, so go check that out.
Marc Warzecha.
All my stuff is on Twitter at Marc Warzecha, MarcWarzecha, at Marc Warzecha, and at Vince Googling.
Thank you for coming on today.
Oh, I love being on. Thank you, guys. This was awesome.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Rosenberg, Instagram, Rosenberg, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg, GoFundMe.com/TacoBoxImprov. I'll be performing at the Hawaiian Improv Festival September 23rd and 24th. That's in a couple weeks. Improvaganza.com for tickets on that. And Alpha Omega Wrestling September 17th in 29 Palms, September 18th in Victorville, California. Former WWE star Mike Knox will be there all weekend long. Tweet me for more info on that. And for all your other AfterBuzz TV news, follow me on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. For Jimbo in the booth, Christy Olson, Scott Narver, Marc Warzecha. God, I'm terrible at that. I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.